All right, good morning, everyone. We're at the Onsite Renovation group down in Hapeville, which is part of Atlanta, down near the airport, with my good friend Don DeRosa and Josh Sledge. Josh, say hello.
Hello.
And we're getting ready to get started. So give me 1 second to get this camera done. Let's see. All right, there we go. All right, welcome everybody. Say hello.
Hello.
What's up, Art? All right, we're down at, what's the address, Josh?
3074 Old Jonesboro Road in Hapeville.
All right, that's where we are. And if you don't know where Hapeville is, because I didn't prior to today, it's down near the airport in Atlanta.
Near the airport, where the original Chick-fil-A is, if you know where the Truett's Cafe original Chick-fil-A is.
How close is that to here?
About 2 miles down that way.
That might be our lunch spot.
It may be. So we just got here. For those of you that don't know, the Onsite Renovation group is a group that meets on the second, or actually the third Tuesday of every month at noon, somewhere at a job site in Atlanta. It may be one of our personal job sites. It may be one of Don's job sites. It could be one of our students' job sites. It could be a friend's job site. So we've been doing this for quite some time, for many years, and it's really popular, especially if you are interested in learning to fix and flip houses for a living. So the beauty of this group is you get to see a lot of rehabs that other people are doing. So you can learn from their successes and their mistakes and maybe avoid some of your own. Each month we go out to a different job site in some state of renovation. Could be brand new, just got it, and the renovation hadn't even begun yet. We could be halfway through one of them where we can see what's going on, or we could go back and visit when it's completely done. So which house are we standing in front of here right now?
3074 Old Jonesboro Road.
All right, what's the state of this particular property?
We've just got the permitting process done, and we've started our footings and our extension out the back. So we've done demo, so fairly new.
Okay, and I
So
heard
this. I was talking. Josh and I were talking earlier. This is Hapeville. That is Atlanta, across the street.
literally across the street. Okay,
Literally.
Yes. 13th Ward, City of Hapeville.
all right.
So much different permitting.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us how you got it?
Okay.
And before you do, a lot of folks don't necessarily know you. They've seen you around but don't know your story, how long you've been doing this. Before you get into the details about this particular property, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing it, how you got started?
I've been doing it since 1996. I bought my first house when I graduated college, and just slowly have been adding to. I've got 20 plus properties under rentals, and then I do 1 to 2 rehabs every 6 months. So
You said 1996?
yeah,
So you've been doing this since you're, what, 16?
pretty close.
Yeah.
21. Yeah.
I know you've been at it a while. So go ahead,
Well,
Don.
go ahead. I was just going to say you're also a member of
PPG, yes.
So I thank you. Shameless plug for PPG.
Yeah.
Well, some of the folks heard me mention students of PPG, members of PPG.
Yep.
We like to come out and see what they're up to.
Yeah.
And share their success with others. So
Well, people always think that PPG is new for people that are brand new, and that's obviously not the case. Would you say you picked stuff up there?
Yeah, no, it's a very good class. It's a networking class. You get tips and tricks, and you learn different things that people are doing, and you know, you might meet somebody that you want to partner with. So that's kind of what I did with Andy here.
such as this young man, Andy Wave. Andy's also a member of PPG, and they're doing they're tag teaming some of these deals.
Yeah. In fact, you guys got a deal.
Yeah, we got a deal about 2 miles down the street, Custard Street. We got a rehab that we just
So we'll
purchased.
talk to you about that one in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's get through this one. So let's start from the beginning. Where'd you find it?
So
how'd you decide this is what you wanted to do? I mean, I know the story,
Yeah.
but tell them.
In the original, I bought a house through a real estate agent a few years ago in here, and then just started marketing in this area. But how I found this house was I bought a house from a gentleman, Mr. Tycoon's disciple, and he sent me a note and said, "Hey, I've got another one in Hapeville. You interested?" And I came over here and put an offer on it, sight unseen. So.
And for those of you that don't know Mr. Tycoon, he was our speaker last night at the Beginning Investors Group.
Yep.
He does a lot of wholesaling, as do his disciples, his students. So a lot of our members are getting deals from those guys and other wholesalers.
All right, so talk to me about what your plans are with this.
Yeah,
So,
so-
let's talk about the numbers. What'd
Yeah.
you buy it for? What?
Got it for $67,500. I'm going to be putting about $73,000 in the rehab.
So that's 140.
140, and ARV is about 210.
Okay. All right. So talk to me about what you want to do on the outside of this.
All right. So on the outside, obviously, it's going to be a full rehab. It's we're going to gut everything. The house is built in the 40s, I think. So it's got asbestos siding. We're going to have to wrap that. We're going to be putting a porch on the house. It'll be a 8-foot porch by 16 feet, centered over here. And then we're putting an extension to, right now it's currently a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. It's about 1,000 square feet. We're going to add 600 square feet onto the back of it to have a master bathroom, master bedroom, and a utility room in the back.
Yeah, there's some arguments as to the cost per square foot of building new construction.
Yes.
So, you'll hear people throw around $100, $125, $150 a square foot. So can you put some of that to rest? What are you doing your
Well, I'm doing the whole rehab for $72,000, and I can get new construction between $65 and $75 a square foot. So.
Okay, so it's possible.
Yes.
Just want to make sure people know that, because they hear that from contractors. Contractors will throw out a number of $150 a square foot.
If you're doing a $500,000 house, maybe, but this isn't that ball game.
Yeah. So it's all going to depend on your fixtures too. Okay, so all right, so you're going to wrap it with hardy plank?
Hardy plank, yes.
Why don't you just pull the asbestos off?
You have to go through abatement at that point, so that's not a good sign. That's another $3 to $5 grand for abatement.
Yeah, we heard you say you're going to wrap it.
Yeah. So how much do you know your rehab costs enough to line item it out? Like how much it's going to cost you to?
It's probably like $5 grand to do the to do the wrap. Okay. So roughly.
Okay. That's pretty average. It's going to be what, 1,600 square feet when it's all said and done. So yeah, that's about right. How about windows?
Brand new windows. I don't know the cost of those off the top of my head. But
you are going to put windows in it.
Brand new plumbing, electrical, and new windows, new roof.
Are you going to change the design of the roof when you got it off, once you have it off?
So there'll be, again, we're going to have a porch over here. It'll be gabled out, and then it'll come up, down, and then gable off the back when you see the extension.
Okay.
Now, regarding the windows, are you going to leave them their original size, or are you going to change up the size of the windows to make them all kind of match, or what's your plans?
Depending on how it looks when we do our porch here, I might make that one the same size as this one. Haven't decided that yet.
Okay. And then you have that little
not approved extension over there. We're not sure if we're going to keep that or not, but you'll see a lot of those around here.
With permitting, I know we were talking earlier, and it's taking you a while to get off the ground because of permitting, because of Hapeville, city of Hapeville. Once you've got your permits now.
Yes.
So you have all your permits, so you can rock and roll now.
I can rock and roll.
Now you can start tearing stuff apart.
Yes.
All right. And that's happening, right? That's kind of happening. You start.
Yeah. So I've got one contractor. He's working on both houses. Because of the hurricane, we had some issues where some of our guys weren't able to. I was hoping to have the back framed already, and then once we got the back framed, then we would go in and start doing electrical and plumbing the next week. So.
Okay. Landscaping.
All the bushes coming out, and then we'll just put some shrubberies and stuff around, and then clean this up, and then kind of delimb all the trees up front. So,
so you think your ARV is going to be
210.
210 ARV.
210.
Right. Now, is that conservative or is that top of the market?
I have a house less than a half a mile down here. I just have it under contract for 209. It's closing in a week, so.
Okay, and we talked about smart devices.
Yes, we're going to attempt. This will be my first smart device. I'm going to put a Ring doorbell on there. I'm going to put the Echo Dot, and then maybe even put a Ring flash. Not flash, but the floodlights on the backside. So.
Okay.
You do anything internally with like LED lights in the ceilings or anything?
I haven't talked about that, but we can. Yeah.
Okay, I'll show you. Yeah. I'll show you what I would recommend.
Okay.
It's fairly inexpensive, but when you have somebody, because this house isn't very big.
No.
So when you have your electrician go back, just have him put the light switches back, So that can tie into your Alexa, and you can turn all your lights on with just a voice.
Okay.
What's your exit strategy?
I will have it on the market in hopefully about 8 weeks to 10 weeks and sell it.
So Art's question was, because you're a little bit far away from the camera, was what's your exit strategy?
Yeah.
So you're planning on retailing it.
Yeah, retailing it.
So if you guys don't, if they ask you questions, which they will, just repeat them so we can hear
yeah,
them.
one of the things about this area, which is good, is you get a lot of young couples come here. The school district is not good here, so people don't come here for the school district. They're either young couples or they take their kids to Woodward, which is College Park. But you get a house here between 200 and 300. You go up 10 miles to East Lake area, you're paying 700 for the same house. So these people come down here and say, I want to get a similar style house for a lot cheaper price.
Yeah. Especially if their kids are young and aren't going to be in school for a little bit.
Questions on the outside?
Yes.
Yeah.
You were talking about like doing a new porch and windows and all that kind of stuff. Are you using somebody to help you with like the design, or are you just kind of coming up with
Great
it on
question.
your own?
Great question.
Design, you're talking color design or house architecture?
Architect. All
So
of that.
architecture, I just work with my general contractor and say, these are the things I want to see, and you'll kind of have to see, you'll see how we're going to blow out the bathroom and move it over a little bit, so we'll have a walkway to the back. But I guess through experience, I've just been doing stuff like this. As far as colors and all that stuff, I just ask friends whose wives have better taste than I do. So
You better.
Yeah.
You better. All right, I think we got a question over here.
Yeah, you said about the permitting, and I know that Atlanta, the permitting takes a little longer. How long did it take you to get all the permits for what you're doing here, especially the
permit is
addition?
not any easier over here. So
Because this is Hapeville.
Hapeville. So permitting process, it's a pretty small community. They only have a design review meeting once a month. So it's the second Tuesday a month, I think. You have to have your paperwork in by the first of the month. So if you're not in there, you lose that. So I've been working on permits for this for about 2.5 months and got them probably maybe 3 weeks ago. So.
Okay.
What was the delay? I mean,
Well, there's no delay. It's,
no, I mean, I've got a house a couple streets over, and we went, we had it the first month. And, and it
so I
went
had
right-
variance on one of them. I mean, it
Okay.
depends. And if you're getting, you got to be careful because there's a lot of contractors that are saying they're getting their permits that aren't
no,
getting them.
I was there.
Yeah.
No.
So it's been a struggle with that. So.
Okay. No, but you said you didn't have architectural drawings, so I'm wondering if that's maybe part of it. If you didn't.
If you add more than 50% of your square foot, you have to have architecture drawings. If you don't, then they'll require it.
You had drawings on this one?
I did not.
Did not.
So the one that's 2 doors down, I do have drawings on.
And
Do
that's
they
the
give you
question.
a package though? Like they say, this is what you need.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yeah, they'll have a checklist for you.
Okay.
They'll have like one sheet that says, okay, if you're doing this, this, and this. Like how many permits did you got? You got 2 for your roof, you say?
So you got a demo permit, electrical, plumbing, framing, footings, and roof. Those are the ones I can think of off the top of my head. It's
Well,
about
I'm sorry, demo, roof,
electrical, plumbing, footings. You have to have your footings inspected.
yep.
So I think we spent around $1,500, $1,600 on our permits.
Which isn't bad for all of that, because usually they're a few $100s for one permit. So if you get an HVAC permit, a couple $100. You get an electrical permit, another couple $100. So pretty average. It's just they require you to do it.
It's $5,000 to abate all the asbestos.
We're not abating, we're wrapping.
No, that's just taking and going right over the surface of it.
Oh, I see.
So if he were to come, if you were to come in here, and you'll see on the back side of this house, there's some broken pieces.
Yeah.
If you were to come in here and start pulling this stuff off, you can't do that.
Yeah.
That is asbestos, and that's regulated by the government.
When you said wrap, I thought you were going to put plastic over
Oh, no, sorry.
No,
and
yeah,
then abate
that's,
the asbestos inside the tented area.
no, you're just going to basically go right over the top with hardy plank.
Hardy plank.
Right
Hardy
over
plank
the top
wrap.
with hardy plank siding. I mean, it'd be no different than if you didn't have that. You just go right over top of it. Just hammer right into it. All right.
Any other questions before we go inside and check the place out? Anybody? Because if you do have questions, I gotta get the camera up to you so we can hear you. Or did you guys get a...
Cash?
I've got
What was it?
private money.
Private money.
What was the question again?
How did you finance the deal?
Okay.
Private money.
Okay. Do you, points wise? Because I always like to share other people, because, you know, being the educator, people always ask me, well, how many points did that cost you? Because when they think about financing, most people think about hard money, and that's expensive money. That is, usually you got to pay points up front, it's a high interest rate, plus you got to pay a bunch of garbage fees on the front end. That's not what you have. He has private individuals.
Real
just like-
private money?
Just some, like an
So
individual.
I don't even have secured. I just have promissory notes. So it's a little different than most people. So,
Yeah, I don't recommend, if you're listening to
So
that, I don't
somebody
recommend
trusts
doing it.
you.
Yes. And if you
So-
have those relationships, that's fine.
It's
Yeah,
cheap
that's
as
great.
6%, and I pay the most I pay is 8.75%.
So that's true private money there. And someone says, well, that stuff doesn't exist. Yes, it does.
Oh yeah, it does.
You just need to know those.
You
And
pay
I'm
the-
sure they trust him because he's got a history too. So you may not get that right away. You may have to kind of build a track record so that people can trust you and people know you.
Unless it's a family?
No, it's not.
Right here?
Question?
Do you pay the interest at the end once you flip it, or
Depends
every
on the
month?
person. So I have some
Great
that,
question.
that I pay monthly, some that I pay quarterly, and 2 or 3 that I pay at the end.
For this deal?
So
The mix?
I'm trying to think of who I've got on this one, but yeah, probably I pay monthly or quarterly on this one.
Any other questions?
Yeah, one more over here.
We're well. All right.
Joshua, I know you're a buy and hold guy. Why are you flipping this house and not giving equity?
Because this is not the best rental market. So as far as I wouldn't get my return on this if I rented it. 3, 4 houses down, they're renting the house for $700 a month. I wouldn't want to rent a $200,000 house for $700 a month.
Yeah, see, when you take a house like this, the only way this house makes sense is for the amount of money he's putting into it. The return isn't there for the type of rent that you're getting. Now, if he could leave this intact, keep the walls, and it was in good shape, and maybe he took it over subject to or paid really very little for it, that might make sense. But when you put in 100, what'd you put in? 140 in it, doesn't make sense. You can go somewhere up, up further up north, maybe Gwinnett, and buy a house for 140 that's built in 1980, has much better bones to it, and make a better return.
Over here.
Why was the owner selling?
Hold up, Art. We got one over here. 1 second.
Is there a certain amount that you want to, like a certain amount that you want to hit in order to flip it? A certain
You talking about profit margin? 20 to 25%.
Okay. Art, you have a question?
Why was the owner selling this house?
It was a wholesale.
It was a wholesale deal, but most of the houses in here that you get are folks that you got older generation in here, and so they'll either pass away and somebody will take it over, or they're looking to move on. So most of the deals we get are from older folks if we get them directly from them.
So that brings me to people ask me all the time, where should I start? Where should I, he pounds the neighborhood. Well, that's a great place to start looking. Neighborhoods that are older neighborhoods, that the community is an older population, those are great neighborhoods to just pound and pound and pound. Put your signs everywhere, do the every door direct. I mean, just hit every door.
So we had a question just come in from Mark. So that's 20 to 25% after commissions and closing costs?
Yeah, I mean, my profit would be 20 to 25% of the...
Yep. What's left over after all expenses. Very good. Any other questions from the audience? One over here?
When in your experience when flipping, is there a minimum? What's your minimum before you say, no, it's too little, I won't do it? Like on a specific flip.
Too little?
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is 20 to 25%. So if it's below that, I'm not going to be looking at it, or I'm going to look at other strategies for it.
Or maybe wholesale it, or...
But now, do I always get 20 to 25%? Not always, but that's the goal, right? So market changes, rehab costs are higher than you expect. So
Mistakes.
Yeah, mistakes.
Surprises.
Contractor bails on you. I've had that happen to me. So
Yeah.
the house 2 door down, I have the second contractor working on that because the first one just said it was too much for them. They couldn't handle it.
We're going to check that one out today too? Okay. Any other questions? All right, let's go inside and see what we're going to do here.
All right, so this one is not, there's just been demo on the inside.
So, there's wires hanging down that are alive, so be careful.
So this house is not yet begun renovations. They're just starting the demo.
Yep. Nice AC unit.
Yeah, window units. What's funny about this is the power has been on in whoever's name, and I haven't turned it off, and so I'm just letting it keep going. So,
Can you hold this a second for me, Don?
Yeah.
so obviously there was an original wall here, and there was a wall right here that made this really closed off. We've already opened them up. We're going to put an LVL beam across the load-bearing wall.
That was my next question.
Yeah.
Hang on. There's this wall right here he took down. That was a wall. And that's about 20 feet, 15 feet.
Yeah, 20 feet probably.
Okay. So you are going to stick an LVL in there?
Yes.
Good. Okay, anybody who does not know what an LVL is? Okay, an LVL is a laminated veneer beam. It is a specific beam engineered to withstand very heavy loads. It's not like a typical. It may look like a 2 by 12 or a 2 by 16, but it's really it's engineered. So it's not like a regular piece of wood, like a 2 by 4 or a 2 by 12. 2 by 12s can move, and they're not as sturdy as these veneer beams.
So where would these veneer beams be going?
Well, in this case,
I think it's either going to be this wall or this wall, whichever one's load bearing. We're going to put one straight across. So. Okay.
So I don't think it's load bearing because otherwise, if it was, I was going to say I don't think it's load bearing because if it was, it'd be sagging right now.
Yeah.
Right. Because my house we thought was low bearing, it wasn't, yeah.
The roof goes.
It might be this way.
The roof goes this way, right?
Yeah, it's low bearing at all.
All right. So if the roof goes, all right. So I don't know for people at home, if the roof goes this way, so it goes like that.
Yep.
That means that any wall going the length of the house is load bearing. Now that doesn't mean that walls. Here, I'll let you. That doesn't mean that walls going this way can't also be load bearing, but it's less likely. It's not as much stress. Because if you were to take this wall out, the house would collapse. Because it wouldn't be enough supporting because the way the best way to say it is when your roof is like this.
Like mine.
If your roof goes like that, you have trusses that go across. And anything that, because think of it this way, your trusses are going this way. So every so many inches is a truss. Well, if you take one wall and it's on one truss, that's the length of that truss, that's not load bearing. But when you take out a wall that's holding up 6 or 8 or 12 or 15 trusses, that's a load bearing wall.
Would you need an industrial engineer? Or
You will need a structural engineer, yes. Your contractor, if anybody, okay, this is a word of caution, because I've been into some students, some of the people at the REIA group, they call me in and say, hey, can you look at my renovation? And I look at it, they take a wall down, and their contractor, I'll use this for an example, let's suppose this was a load-bearing wall, they will put just a 2 by 12 up there and stretch it across. That will not pass inspection, and in fact, over time, it will sag, and the house you'll have to re-engineer the house.
So Don, having said that this is not load bearing, Josh, why would you put an LED beam in there and spend all that money?
No, there's one that's coming in somewhere. It's either that way or this way.
Oh, so it's not going here.
Yeah, the only way to really know that is to get up inside.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's why I said it doesn't necessarily mean it's just this way. It could be one of these could have a load based on what's going on the front
But
and
you
the
do
other.
the load this way.
Whichever
This
way
is the
it's,
major.
yeah.
This is the major load right here
Right,
going
yeah,
down the
okay.
center.
But
of
no,
the
okay,
house.
yeah.
But that doesn't mean that you couldn't or shouldn't, because there's been plenty of times where I've put an LVL this way and this way.
So would
just
you have to
to
do it
keep-
here and then there? Both places or just the one?
Probably not. Probably, well, the thing about, if you look here, to do this correctly, if this were a place where you would put in a beam, a laminated beam, you'd have to do it right. I mean, some people put it low like this and wrap it, and you have this little bump out. I don't particularly do that. I stick it above the drywall, and then drywall so it's flat and smooth. But you got to make sure you're going into, it has to sit on something. So this is the outside wall. So if this is your outside wall, it has to sit on that outside wall. It can't be butted up against it.
Kind of like it's sitting on top of it now.
Yeah, it has to sit because that's what, this wall here is what's supporting the weight of that.
Okay.
So if you just try to tie it into this, it won't work. It'll pull away. So.
And that would be the city inspector that would
The
say-
city inspector,
they
that's
would
good,
ask.
when he pulls his permits,
Gotcha.
his permits are, I mean, before he can close this up, like he's gonna open this all up, and he's gonna do his structural, whatever structural engineering or structural work he's gonna do, before he sticks one single piece of drywall in, he's gotta make sure the inspector comes out and says, yep, you're good with your structural, you're good with your electric, because he'll run all his electrical wires, the inside electrical. You got the rough electrical, and then you have finished electrical. Same thing with plumbing, rough plumbing and finished plumbing. The difference between the two, the rough plumbing and the rough electrical are behind the walls, and the finished is the outlet covers and the plugs and the faucets. That's the finished plumbing.
Hey Don, can you explain the difference too? Because like on my house, I didn't permit anything but the electrical, and that was it. Because in the city of Lawrenceville, they said if you're replacing,
Yes.
you don't have to permit.
A lot of times, if you're just
Here,
repairing,
it's replacing and repairing. So why did you have to permit everything?
he's not though.
Oh, you're doing the addition. Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's not though.
Yeah,
I mean,
right, okay.
if you were just, if these walls weren't here, and he was just replacing some drywall and
Well, I told
replacing
all that.
replacing floors, you wouldn't need it.
The key in Hapeville is they have a permitting person that drives the
Oh,
city.
okay.
So they drive and they see any construction workers, they get out, they
Okay,
come out,
gotcha.
and they see what's going on. If you don't
Alright.
have the permits in your front door, they shut you down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I figured that you, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you doing in here? You opened up some walls. What
So
are you?
obviously we're going to open up the walls. We're going to have this as a kitchen, L-shaped kitchen with an island here. We'll just keep this as a big living room area. And then we're going to, when you get in here, we're going to move the bathroom over 3 feet. So we have a walkway into the back extension that you'll see on the back side.
Are you keeping this window or these windows?
We'll keep some version of it, yeah, depending on.
Because I was going to say you might want to.
Close it up. Where's your sink at? Where's your sink gonna be?
You might want to. That way, it will give you a bigger kitchen.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's why I was asking. The windows, you're going to leave them the same size?
Yeah, I
or-
mean, give me some ideas and I'll.
Get rid of this window.
Yeah.
Well, my idea is you're going to have
Because that
a
is the
porch that
front
comes
house.
over.
Yeah.
This, I would close this off.
Mhm.
And where's your refrigerator going to go?
I haven't decided, but I might try to use that
That area right there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Where's your
so
laundry room?
you could recess your refrigerator on that side, and this could be cabinets all the way over here.
Yeah.
So that will give you cabinet all the way.
Would you move the plumbing or the sink to some other location?
Um,
And if not, would you leave a window above it to peer out?
Yes, the answer to that question is depending on where I put the sink.
Right.
My original thought was put the sink there. I don't know if that was your original thought.
I just thought it'd be better to look out front than it'd be to the next door neighbor, but it doesn't.
So,
Yeah.
you know, in any kitchen design that you have, you can lay it out, and I'll even help you if you want, if you don't already have it. But you're gonna put an island in? Okay, so the ideal scenario in any kitchen is what they call a food triangle. Familiar with the food? Anybody familiar with the food triangle?
Tell me what the food triangle is.
Basically, you have all of the things that you go to on a regular basis. You have your sink, your stove, your refrigerator, even so much as your dishwasher, all within that triangle. So if your stove is here, for example, if you're doing an island stove, is that what you're doing?
I haven't talked about that, but
Okay, well,
yeah.
let's assume.
Just say yes.
Yes.
Let's assume you put an island. You may not even have enough room yet for an island stove, I don't know. But let's say you put, because you already got the gas here. So let's assume, just for the sake of argument, you put an island stove here. On the back side of this, you would have your sink. Now ideally, I personally, since you're wrapping this anyways, and you're replacing the windows anyways, I would get rid of those windows, move this window down, center the window so that you have counter space on each side of the window. You can put your dishwasher down on one side, your refrigerator would be here, and your stove would be here. So now you have your triangle right here. Now, not every kitchen follows those guidelines, but that's what you try to do. Because think about it, whoever does the cooking, whether it be the female or the male in the house, from an industrial engineering standpoint, the less steps you take when you're preparing and cooking and cleaning up, the more efficient it is, and that's what they try to do.
And you usually want your dishwasher next to your sink.
Exactly. So that's why I said if you move this over and center that window, now you have equal cabinets on that side, equal cabinets on this side.
Me personally, I don't want people looking out the front of the house while I'm doing dishes and stuff and cleaning the kitchen. I would rather have that blocked off.
Well, this is
Staring at me from the road while I'm
in
doing
my eyes, this is the most logical because this is the longest wall to give you more cabinets.
Well, how will that affect the curb appeal of having, no windows over on the side of the house?
Big windows right here.
No big deal?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. You can look at it and see, but and you can reverse it too. You can put your sink here and put a window here and wrap it around that way.
Yep.
So you can play with it, but I would, since you're going to wrap the house anyways and you're replacing all the windows, I'd really take a look at adding as many cabinets as you can.
So
But
for
then
those,
you'd have any backsplash if you did that, right?
What's that?
If you move the sink here, you wouldn't have any backsplash.
We'd remove the windows.
it'd be a smaller window or
Well,
something.
they said keep the window
No,
here.
no.
Not that size.
Instead of having two windows here, you'd only have
have
one,
one,
and you
okay,
have it in the
okay.
center right
Yeah,
here.
be much
Okay.
smaller.
So
You
this
cover
area
that
from
up.
here down would be your backsplash.
Okay.
Your backsplash would go
Yeah.
continue on.
And then cover that one up.
Yeah, we cover that one up.
Yeah. So how much does a kitchen like this cost, Don?
You have any idea?
6,000.
Yeah.
Mine's
depending on
5,500 in Lawrenceville.
how much?
5,500.
Is that with the appliances?
No.
I
No.
didn't think so. Okay.
I would say you're going to be, there's three types of configurations. There's what they call an 8x8, a 10x10, or 10x8, and a 12-foot kitchen.
Yeah.
So you can stagger them. I mean, you can ramp up from there, but this is pretty much what we
Smaller one.
call an 8x8 kitchen, basically. Who are you getting your cabinets from?
I don't know off the top of my head. So.
I got a great guy. So you need
Okay.
good pricing. Granite's going to be, you can put granite or,
That's great. Yeah.
so what are you paying for your granite usually?
$30 a square foot, I think.
Yeah, I can probably get you a little cheaper.
Any other questions about this part of the house?
I got a question.
Yeah.
Justin. With the amount of money you're putting in, you're not going up?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Going out. Back.
Okay, going out to the up. Okay, just curious.
No, just for those who don't know, the cost of going up versus the cost of going out.
There's no difference for me.
Really? So you've done both?
I have a house just down the street that I went out the whole
Yeah.
floor.
It's always here going up costs more because you got to shore everything up.
No, it actually costs less.
Really?
Supposedly it costs less.
Okay.
You don't have the foundation.
You know, I put the footings and foundation.
Okay.
You don't have the
Josh, this
foundation.
is live, right?
Yes, that is live.
Okay, so either you don't bump into it or you bump into it and I get all your life insurance.
Okay. Take your pick.
Yeah, take your pick. Yeah.
So in the back, if you want to walk back, there's a bedroom right here, there's a bedroom right here, and then there's the bathroom right in the middle. That bathroom is going to be shifted over 3 feet, and then where that tub is going to be the hallway to the back extension. So
Careful, don't go in the bathroom.
Josh, are you doing your ceiling smooth?
Well, were you in there earlier today?
Yeah.
Were you in the bathroom earlier today?
There's no floor in there.
Okay.
It's like an outhouse. You can see the outside.
Okay.
What's the add-on over there?
It's probably coming down.
Oh, okay. It doesn't. Okay.
So are you just repairing them?
All right, well, let's go check out the back area.
I'm probably taking them down. We were originally thinking about keeping them. Yeah, but
Josh, let's follow you because you and Don are doing the talking.
not a lot to see in here, so. So here's the bathroom. Again, we're going to be moving the bathroom over 3 feet, and where the shower used to be is going to be the hallway to the back.
So
No,
this
the master's on the back side.
This was the shower where the shower used to be, and you're moving it 3 foot which way?
3 feet over here. So
All right.
it's stealing from this bedroom, moving it over 3 feet. This will be a smaller bedroom.
Okay.
And then, obviously, that window's going away because that's going to be the extension on the backside. There'll be an extension on the backside that when we walk outside, you'll see it.
Okay.
And then on the extension, we have a master bedroom, master bath, and a utility room in the back.
So this is currently what?
2 bedroom, 1 bath, about 900 square feet, 950 square feet.
Okay. You make it a 3-2.
3-2 with a 2-car garage in the back that we're adding as well.
Very nice. Very nice. So we going out the back, Josh?
We'll go out and wrap this door over here.
Okay. I'll meet you out there. So this is the other small bedroom. This is going to, I think, be the same size, I believe, because we're moving the.
So if they're going to move that,
They're moving the bathroom behind that wall the other direction.
so that'll be plotted here.
I'm not sure. He mentioned they're moving the bathroom 3 foot to make way for a hallway to get out back to the new. So I have a feeling they could go in a hallway going through here, where the shower was, to get to the back bedroom.
That makes sense.
All right, so we'll follow these guys out back to see the beginnings of the addition.
So Dustin, what I was saying is I had to take out 5 pine trees and open this up a lot. There used to be a pine tree right here where we're standing. We've put an extension. I think it's about a 500 square foot extension. We're going to have a patio in the back here, and then a 2-car garage, and then the driveway will be repoured. So in this extension, there will be a master bedroom on the far side with a master bath with a master closet, and then a utility room.
You're
off the
doing
back.
all this for $67,000?
No, 75,000.
Oh, 75.
Yeah.
Still, that's pretty good.
That's real good. And that hallway is going to be right there where the shower was, just coming out the back
So
here.
basically, where that electrical panel is, that's where the extension will be.
How do you get rid of the asbestos back here?
Very carefully.
What do you say?
At night?
Yeah. So.
There'll be a new roof.
Yeah, gable roof coming out this way, gable and. Go ahead.
How long is it all going to take?
How long is it going to take, or how long should it take?
How long is it? I guess how long should it take?
It should take about 12 weeks. It's going to take probably 3 months from the time I'm starting. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I have had a lot of problems with contractors, not only getting them to show up to the work, but, you know, they'll come here, they'll work a little bit, and then somebody will give them a better deal, and then if you're not here all the time.
Contractors, it's all about cash flow.
Yeah.
So you give them that first draw, they work a little bit, they spend it, and they need more cash flow. If you're not ready to give them that second draw, or they're not ready,
or you're not here,
yeah, they're going to go to another job to get that initial cash flow for them. That's typically what I see.
They rock you to everything.
Yeah, well, what they'll do is, you know, Josh will give them a draw, and they'll work a little bit, but they'll spend that money, that draw, on themselves or whatever, and then they're not quite finished here to get the next draw, but they need money. So they'll go and they'll scurry and they'll try to find another job, and they'll start that other job to get that initial draw, and then it's a shell game after that. It's I got to be at this job, and now they're 2 or 3 Now it's a juggling act. That's what I've seen.
Yeah, if you're not screaming.
And it's the age-old thing, whoever screams the loudest and threatens to sue them the loudest, then that's who they put. That's who they.
Aren't there some out there that are more reliable?
Yes, there are some, but
Maybe they
it's
charge
still
a little more.
It's you're going to get it's what you pay. So I pay a lesser amount, and I expect it to take longer. If you get somebody to pay a higher amount, maybe. But the key is management. If you were here every day, if I was here every day, I'd probably get more production. But I have a full-time job, so I can't quite do that yet.
So you're doing this part-time?
Yeah, part-time.
Okay.
How often do you visit the job site?
Twice a week.
That's still that's plenty. I mean,
The question was how often you visit the job site.
yeah,
Twice a week.
Twice a week's plenty, even if you were doing it full time. I mean, I do it full time, and that's pretty much all I would do. You know?
And I work on mine if I have to. Like I worked on the one 2 doors down on Sunday to try to get it to where we could show it.
How much back and forth is there with the contractor? Is it only those 2 times a week, or do you guys?
I talk to my contractor every day.
Yeah, you can talk to him every day, but you don't necessarily have to be here every day.
Mine every day
I mean,
too.
obviously, the more you're here, the more you can keep them in line.
I make him send me pictures. So
Yeah.
he texts me pictures of what they've done and what they haven't done.
So constant communication's key.
Yes.
Any other questions from the audience?
You just hire a GC and he takes care of everything.
Yeah, so I've been using the same guy for like 15 years, and I've tried to branch out. I've branched out 2 or 3 times, and the 2 times that I've branched out, I've lost money on those deals. And then this one, 2 doors down, I was trying to do a little competition, so I had another contractor. He worked on it for a while and just said, it's too much for me, I don't want it, and left. And so this contractor who's working on this is actually working on that one as well.
Yeah, so the moral to that story is, when you find a good contractor that works well, make sure you pay him on time, pay him well.
And don't give his number out.
And don't give his number out.
And keep them busy.
Keep him busy.
And I've got this one, that one. I've got 1 2 streets down. I've just got one that I put under contract. I got 5 lots in the area, and me and Andy, wherever Andy is, we just bought a house about 2 miles down from here that we're going to do a rehab on. About a $150,000 rehab on that one. So.
And you're doing all this part-time.
Part-time.
I also want you to emphasize that for the new people.
Yeah.
You can do this part-time.
Well, Andy's full-time though, right?
Well, you brought me in so I could crack the whip. So we're going to play the good cop, bad cop.
Well, you look like good cop.
You're going to say, oh, you got
Yeah, Andy's definitely good cop.
Good, but
It'd be free, but you know Andy, he wants to get paid.
So I know it's hard to see the vision on this one. The one 2 doors down, this is done, so you can see what we did. And so if you want to go,
the same kind of layout?
same layout.
I think
So,
do you have
Yep.
pictures of it? Okay.
so we can walk down there. It's 2 doors down.
We're
and
gonna
we
head
can
2
see the
doors
exact
down.
same thing.
can I ask
All
you
right.
a question real quick?
You may.
Since you're going to retail this, do you like try to pre-sell the house, like with your drawings? Or
Great
with
question.
Anything that's like a model? Or?
Pre-sale. I mean, we have people every single day come to our rehab and go, "Hey, what are you selling it for?" And we collect all their information.
Gotcha.
And I've used a real estate agent. I'm not happy with them. Andy's going to try to help me with some, and then
Andy's an agent.
Yeah,
Isn't Andy an agent?
Yeah.
Andy's an
Why would
agent.
he sell? What would he sell for you?
There he is now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
For 1%, Andy.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to collect all the information. A lot of people come and ask, "Hey, is it a rental?" So a lot of people want to rent.
So the odds of you having a buyer lined up before you can finish are good.
Yeah, so this is a pretty hot market. One of the good things about Hapeville is you got the Porsche dealership that just came in. You got Chick-fil-A. There's a big foundation to do revitalization in the Hapeville area, so a lot of people are moving into the area. So,
Are you staging? Will you stage?
this house and that house I'm staging. It'll be the first one that was staged. So,
Cool.
You need help with that? I have.
okay, yeah.
Some connections. All right, we're gonna watch your step. We're gonna head on down 2 doors down and check out the next rehab. So you want to kind of tell us about it as we walk down? Just for those listening at home.
So this is again a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It was 850 square feet. We added almost 700 square feet to the back of it. I got this one from a wholesaler for $45,000. I'll put in the neighborhood of $75,000 into it, and I'll list it for $210,000.
Any of the wholesalers we know?
Property Force.
Okay. Not Tycoon?
This was based out of Jacksonville.
Okay.
Florida?
Yeah.
You found this in Florida?
Yeah.
So you can find good deals from wholesalers, huh?
Yes.
The right wholesalers.
The right wholesalers.
Who know how to leave meat on the bone.
You also have to know your market.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
I would venture to say if a wholesaler came to him and had a deal up in Gwinnett.
If they had that house right there for wholesale for the same price, I wouldn't pay for it because that's City of Atlanta.
John,
Right across the street, guys. That yellow line is the City of Atlanta. This is Hapeville.
Everything's Hardy Plank, yes. So again, this is City of Atlanta, this is Hapeville, so it's two different markets.
Now, having said just what you said, it's two different markets technically. Tell us the big difference why you wouldn't buy this one. What's just because it's right on the
13th Ward, it's just got a negative persona, and people don't want to buy in the 13th Ward. They want to buy in the City of Hapeville. So.
Is that a different school district?
Yes.
It's literally right across the street.
The schools are great.
Yeah, they're both pretty.
So.
But they're right across
But
the
see, this is the thing. This is the thing that you have to understand. If you're brand new, the difference between this side of the street and that side of the street, even though the houses are, I can throw a stone to this house. That doesn't. When you're evaluating it, he knows this area, so he wouldn't pay the same amount he paid for this.
So these go for more.
But be careful when you do that. You have to look at geographical boundaries and things like that. So when a wholesaler brings you a deal, you got to look at all of those things. And if you don't know what you're doing, find somebody that's professional at it, somebody that's been doing it a while, somebody that you trust, and have them look over your shoulder.
It's always good to have a second set of eyes.
Yes.
So this is a 350 Mount Zion Road. Again, it was an 800 square foot, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Real funky layout. Driveway's on the right, the front door's on the left. So, and there was just kind of a brick walkway. So we're going to be putting again another front porch on this. It's going to be about an 8-foot front, and then put the door right in the center. One of the things the City of Hapeville is also requiring is all driveways and rehabs now have to be poured, so we have to put a poured driveway in here. And then this originally had, like I said, an unapproved extension on here that went all the way to the property line.
Man, look at that plate.
Yeah. So he was saying there's an unapproved extension here that he ripped off.
That's why that random door is right there. And so this door will go away, and then that'll be your kitchen. It'll be an open area. And again, it's got a 2 bedrooms, 1 bath in the original house, and we've added a master bedroom with a utility room and his or her closet and a master bedroom. Master bathroom.
Still standing.
That was until about 10 minutes ago. That was there was nothing there. So you're welcome to walk in, look at it. I mean,
be careful.
I'll walk in.
Be careful. Let's start up.
This is an addition back here?
Yeah, that's the finished. A closer, you can actually see what he's doing to the other one.
Do they plan on putting up packet system?
Come on in and ask him.
Yeah, because.
Let's get in there and ask him.
Yeah.
Oops, sorry about that. Watch step.
What kind of flooring are you putting down?
I'm going to try to save these and then extend them all the way through.
Okay.
So he said he's going to try to save these original wooden floors.
Here,
I'm going to have to
feather it in.
Feather it in.
Yeah, and this is another mistake I see a lot of investors make. Is I went down, I don't know, about a month ago, someone had a renovation, and they had their contractor do exactly this, and it was a little better.
So this was originally a wall. So there was a wall right here, and we demoed this wall. So this is actually where the sink was, and so the kitchen was like that originally, and we demoed that out.
So the reason I asked that question was, you can see how stark and this is. I mean, it stands out. So when I asked that question, normally to do it correctly, you will have to feather this out. You'll have to take out like every other one, and they'll stagger these boards, so it won't be cut like a square. You'll see that there is not a thing he can do with this the way it is to fix this, other than remove it, and then he'll have to
do it right.
Basically come about where you're standing and about right here, and feather it all in, stagger the pieces of board, so that when he goes and he sands it all and seals it all,
It's a little harder to see.
You won't see it at all. You won't see it at all.
That door's going away,
All right.
and this will be a big L shape with an island right here. So,
Very similar to the other house we just looked at.
and then
And you can never see it.
we're opening up this far. There'll be an LVL that goes across here,
Yeah,
and this
you can't do
door will
it.
be all the way
What
up.
happens is like this piece right here, you pull this out, see how it goes
We're
back?
going to go a little bit further, actually.
So Don,
It goes back to here. So you'd have to take that piece out and garage on this one in there. Then you'd have to take another one. Yeah, full length piece. And you.
yeah, since you're pouring the driveway, you're not going to do the garage. And on the other one where you put in the garage, you're going to pour a driveway or just
You have
Yeah,
to.
you can see how.
even in the other one?
Okay. Here's one here. And then this
But the garage is not required.
And then this one is up there further. So that's what you need to do. They call it feathering it in or feathering
Yep.
it in.
Now, Don, the ceilings are open here, and he mentioned one of those
Yes.
LVLs.
So we're going to expand this wall here, open it up, and then there'll be probably a 15 or 16 foot LVL beam going across that area. Right?
Because they can actually see the trusses and everything now and see where it would
Yeah,
go.
you can see this at perfect. So if I were to have a wall here on this truss, this is not a load-bearing wall. This would not be a load-bearing wall because you only have the weight of this one area sitting on that wall. Whereas if you had this wall, you have the weight of all of these, however many there are, sitting on it. So when you do an LVL, you could take this thing all the way, well, you can't go more than 30 feet.
That's the max.
That's the max. And it has to be solid on both sides. It has to be probably, if I were to go full 30 feet, I would do, I think we do 4. 4, I mean, it's thick. I would do 4, and then you take bolts and you bolt them all together. Now, the way to do it is you put a temporary wall up here, and you put a temporary wall on that side. Then you take and you cut. You can see whatever the distance is, whatever your width of your beam that's going to go up there. So if you have 4 of them together, it's going to be about that wide. So you have 4 of them, and they're about 16 inches. I think it's 16 inches wide. So they stick up in there, and they go the whole length. But in order to do that, you have to cut every single one of these joists. That's why you have a temporary wall on both sides. So you put the temporary wall up, you cut the joists, you stick the beams up in there, and then they sit in what's called a Simpson tie, which is a bracket that if you have a piece of wood, if this is your LVL beam that goes the length of this, there's a bracket that sits there. It's like a U-shaped bracket that gets bolted or screwed into. So right here, let's say this is it would be a U-shaped bracket. It's about the size of this right here. And that's where this joist falls down in and sits in it. Kind of sit. And you have one every step of the way.
You bolt the beam to the joist.
You bolt the Simpson tie to the LVL, and then you bolt or screw this into the Simpson tie.
Okay. Which has the beam inside of it.
Correct. It's like it's like a sleeve. It
Yeah.
just kind of slides. It's a thing that bolts into this. Kind of picture my hand, how it's out like that, and then this would fall down in between, and then you bolt it in this way. So you bolt the tie in this way, and you bolt this in here. Yes.
A lot of times the Simpson ties are used on decks, so you might look under your deck if you have one.
Yes.
And if you're at Home Depot and Lowe's, go look at Simpson ties and you'll fully understand.
Yeah. It's
a metal bracket.
Yeah, it's a metal bracket. You see how this is sitting on that outside wall? Any LVL beam, or any beam for that matter, has to sit on the outside of that. It can't be attached. I've seen contractors try to attach it to the wall, and that's not good. That will never pass inspection. Bless you. That will never pass inspection, and it's not code, and it's dangerous.
So Josh, what are you doing to kind of reconfigure the layout of this house?
So, again, it was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It had 2 closets, a closet on the left-hand side, a closet on the right-hand side. We bumped this closet out and made a walkway to the back. So
this is the same
Same, similar
You'll
layout.
see, like, if you envision what we were over there, this is exactly,
This is it.
but it's the same.
Yeah, this is where the shower
It's
was
not
on the
even
other house.
flipped. It's not even flipped, right?
But we didn't have to move the shower. We didn't have to move the bathroom at all on this one. So,
Okay, but picture the other one just.
Yeah. Yep.
He was making that hall where the shower used to be through the bathroom.
Yes.
Because they're moving it 3 foot.
Yeah.
This one you had to have.
Hold on, he has a question.
So if contractor did try
Because
to, like how
I'm
you
adding
said,
over 5
and it won't pass inspection, what then?
You make him change it.
I got a
Yeah. Well, it won't pass
It's a
the
no-brainer for money, time.
It's his time, it's his money, he did it wrong. I wouldn't pay for the mistake.
So inspector, they're gonna open the wall?
No, if you're changing walls like this, okay, it's already open.
Not the FHA inspector, the building.
Yeah, whoever's doing your inspection for the city. Like, if he were to take this wall and open this wall up and put an LVL beam across here, he can't, well, he can. He can. But if he has a permit, he shouldn't. Okay, he shouldn't. Because the inspector will make him remove the drywall if he knows it's there.
That'd be part of the roof permit?
That'll be a structural permit. That'll be part of your structural. So,
Don,
yes?
if you want to remove everything over here and then raise the ceiling,
I've done that before.
If you want to do what now, I'm sorry? Elevate the ceiling, like trade the ceiling out or something like that?
make it more space.
You have to, if you're gonna do that in a house like this, you need to have a structural engineer, and you'll have to probably have to have drawings, and you'll have to,
So I just had a house that I put on the market, and I just got where the ceilings were 7 foot, and we did that. We had to get architect drawings, and then have bracing set up to extend it to make it an open concept roof.
Because on something like that, if you try to go sell that, and they say, it's one thing, because I've had houses where I haven't done inspection, or I haven't done permits, and I'll put an LVL, basically the whole length of this, I'll put a 25-foot LVL in, and I don't sometimes get it permitted, okay?
Saying that online.
So I've heard. I haven't really done that. I've just heard that happened. But what I'll typically do when I go to sell it, there are always going to be an inspector. There's going to be someone inspecting, and they're going to say, "Hey, did you get permits?" Typically, what I'll do is I'll have a structural engineer give me a written affidavit that this thing's structurally sound. So if you ever run into a situation where you've done something, you haven't gotten it permitted, get a structural engineer, come in, they'll give you a certified affidavit that says, yep, you're good to go. And 9 times out of 10, as long as your house is really nice looking and they want it, they'll use that and go, okay, I'm fine with that.
Especially if it's like an FHA.
No.
So you don't sell to FHA buyers?
I do, but in FHA, if your buyer is going to be an FHA, you better get permits. You
That's
better
what
do
I was
everything.
going to say, because they
You
check
better do
everything.
everything.
I know that person.
Yeah, because they're going to do their inspections, and if it's not done to their specifications, they will make you change it, or they won't. The buyer will not be able to get the loan.
Yeah.
They won't make you change it. They just will say we can't write the loan.
Exactly.
So for the HVAC, what kind of system you gonna put? Either package system like that, or what kind of system you gonna put?
I don't know. I mean, my contractor will put whatever needs to need on this one. I don't get into the details of that. But
I would say this is a 2-ton.
I think it might be a 3-ton, but it'll go in the city.
Art, do you have a question?
We won't be.
Is it considered a conflict of interest if the
Hold on, you're getting rid of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
What are you getting rid of?
The vent, the
vents in
intake
the floor.
The intake,
So
the
pretty.
return.
Very good.
Prove it out.
What you got, Art?
Is it considered a conflict of interest if the structural engineer and the contractor is the same person?
Yes.
You can't have that.
You can't have that. Can't have that. That is a conflict of interest.
That's not a conflict. That's against the law.
Yeah. Yes, that is.
I don't think the structural engineer would be a contractor.
Oh yeah, there are. Yeah, that's exactly who they are.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess the ones that I've worked with do
Absolutely.
commercial
But
projects.
if I have, I have had contractors work for me that are, are structural engineers. Okay, so.
Like a GC.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant like a contractor.
Well, they are contractors.
I mean, like somebody doing the floors.
A subcontractor.
A subcontractor.
Okay, well, no, typically, but your structural engineer is a contractor and can do jobs just like this, but you just can't have him give you the affidavit because he's the one doing the work.
Gotcha.
That's a little, yeah, that's a conflict.
Any other questions before we move out back? Anybody?
Yeah, I want to see the addition.
All right, well, come on, lead on, Josh.
All right, so again, we have a bedroom one here with a closet. We have a second bath here. We bumped this wall out a bit. This is going to be the second bedroom.
You leaving the door?
Leaving the door.
This door.
No, that door's going away. So this would be the mudroom slash...
Are you adding a window where the door was to make it a bedroom?
Yeah, so there's a window going there. This will go away because this is going to become the closet of there since we took the closet away.
So is this a door then? No,
This
so this is just going to go away.
It sounds like he's going to remove the door in here.
So I had to take the closet
And
out
put
from
in a,
there. So in order to have a closet, I had to put the closet right here.
Put in a window.
And then this is the water heater, so mudroom, water heater. There's going to be a washer dryer here. And so this will be your mud area.
Perfect. So this is the closet for that bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
When you come in here, this is
So
the
there is going to be a
master
door there.
No, this is a closet. This
Could be a closet?
This is the closet for
Could be a
this
closet
room.
door.
All this is going away.
That's what I'm saying. But okay, that's the door. That's going to be an opening.
To the closet?
No. That way.
Yes.
This is a wall, right?
I understand. This is going to be an opening
Yes.
into that room.
Yes, into that room.
Yep.
Like, that's
the
what I meant by
Okay.
the door.
Okay, gotcha.
That's what I meant by door.
Yeah.
It's because this is the back of the edge of the closet
Yes.
for that bedroom.
Yep.
Yep. And then he's going to put a window over there where that door was
Yeah.
somewhere.
And then this is the entrance to the master suite.
Okay. You guys are standing in the doorway to the suite.
So this is the suite with the bedroom. So master bedroom. These are her closets. So his closet, her closet, and then the master bathroom with glass shower, tub, and then the toilet is in that little room right there. And then
This
off.
second one right here, the water closet.
Yes. And then right here we're going to have a deck off the back of it.
So what are the numbers on this one, Josh?
I got this house for $45,000. Putting 76,000 into it.
Same amount of rehab?
Yeah.
Dang, how do you get so cheap? How do you get a rehab so cheap?
He got this one from a wholesale out of
I'm
Jacksonville.
talking about the rehab. I'm putting that into my house and I'm not doing no addition and stuff.
It's all on the person that you get. I mean, if you got a good enough relationship with the contractor and he's willing to do it for that price.
Here's the one thing. I've got a contractor who he's got a year's worth of work in this area. He can bring all his folks here every single day. He's got this property, that property, 2 streets over I've got a property.
Did you negotiate the price with him, his prices, or?
Yeah, he gives me a flat fee.
Did you
And
negotiate that down, or?
yeah, we just talk about it from there.
So he's keeping him busy.
That's good.
So pretty large master bedroom in the area. I mean, and then his or her closet, which is a nice feature. And then that area is we're gonna have a shoe rack in there. So in that little cubby area.
So this is the same style house as the other?
So these are the...
What are you doing in the bathroom to give it wow?
which one's...
Got a glass shower and a claw tub, and then a double vanity.
I have access to claw tubs for a fraction of the price.
Okay. Then I need to get one.
Yeah, I got a guy that just wanted to get rid of them. And also, anybody that needs a, I think they're 5-foot sliding glass doors. He's got 3 or 4 of them in his warehouse. They're brand new. So, anybody that needs sliding glass doors.
Big bathroom.
Plus, he's got, they're brand new. He's a home show guy, so he,
Closet.
yeah, so he.
This must be for the female because it's huge.
In his warehouse.
Big bathroom.
That's the bathroom?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that's the restroom area. Very nice.
No window in the master bath?
What number? 12 or 13.
No window in the master bath?
There's actually going to be a window over the tub. It hasn't been cut yet.
So they are putting in a window over here in the master bath. Just hadn't cut it out yet. It's much bigger.
So this is,
This one $20,000 cheaper than the other one, right? Oh, because that was a wholesale.
both of them are
Oh,
wholesale.
both of them are wholesale?
He just got this first before the
Oh,
market.
you got this one first?
The other
So
wholesale
I bought
ones
this one in October of last year, and I sat on it for a while because I didn't have the money to do it, and then the permitting process on this one took 5 months. So the original house is built, so there's a 5-foot setback on this side. The original house is 3 inches over. And so since I put an extension on the house, I had to go through 3 different review committees. They denied me twice. I had to go through a variance committee, and then the last one they finally approved me. So
Did you have to do anything to get the approval, or just convince them?
you had to do some stuff, yeah. Grease the wheels.
So
I-
you had to do the drawing yourself, or?
I had an architect draw this one. So
But then if you had an architect who did it, why did it take so long for them to still?
it's not the architect. So City of Hapeville only meets once a month for their permitting process.
Just like Lawrenceville.
And so
it's a variance too, it's a different committee, right?
So I had to go through 3 committees. They have a design committee, an architect committee, and then a variance committee. So I had to go through three different processes.
Yeah, and if you miss one of them, it's a whole 30 days.
Or if they deny you, yes.
Or if they deny you, you gotta wait another 30 days till they meet.
So the very first time I came in, I had the house, they told me originally I didn't need a survey. And the day of, they were like, you don't have a survey in here. And I was like, here's the email you said, well, we've changed our procedures. We need a survey. And so I missed a whole month just for that.
Now, do you put up the permit or do you use your contractor?
Contractor does everything. You have to be a licensed contractor.
So you went over there and dealing with those meetings and stuff like that?
Well, I still go to the meetings, but yeah, he's there as well.
How do you manage your time from full-time to all this?
How do I manage my time?
Yes, great question.
He's here now instead of work.
Are you single? Are you single?
I am, yes.
That's why.
So Saturday I was here from 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. Sunday I was here from 9 a.m. till 3 p.m. I come in.
So on weekdays you don't come to
Usually I come once a week, usually on Wednesdays in the afternoon.
But then, is this the only project you have, or you have other
No, he
properties
has
that you
many.
have
He
to
has
balance?
several.
Several day.
I have 4 active construction and I've got 7 other planned. And some,
same area or different?
yeah, all in this area.
It's just a machine.
Well, when you can stay within
That good.
2-3 miles, it's not hard to do.
Right.
I mean, you just get in your car and you ride around all of them,
Yeah.
create your list,
And that's why it's really good to work a certain area and just hammer it hard, rather than try to spread it all too thin. Pick your niche, pick your area.
Yeah, a lot of times people were going to areas like, no, they're going to areas like in town. Kirkwood, they're going to
Cabbagetown.
yeah, something that's that, you know that you got. They're high end. They're
I'll
$400,000,
check it. I just don't check it that often.
$600,000.
If you send me a message, it'll send me
That's not the
something.
neighborhood you need to be pounding. You need to be pounding the neighborhoods that have a $40,000 house with
Okay.
sales that are in the $200,000 like you do.
Unless you're wholesaling and pounding them to wholesale.
It's getting harder to find $40,000 houses around here.
No.
The people have started figuring out that they can get more for houses.
So you can't get a house in here for less than $75,000.
Yeah.
75 is the going
Yeah.
rate. Me and Andy just bought a house for $105,000 at a little nicer area, and we'll be putting a $150,000 rehab in there, and we'll sell it for $310,000, $320,000.
Question for you.
Yeah.
For like a new investor, I guess you wouldn't want to necessarily, I mean, I guess everybody has different resources, but you wouldn't want to necessarily start out doing fix and flip.
Not of this magnitude.
Not of this magnitude. If you're brand new, you can do it, but you better have somebody that knows, that's done them, that knows what they're doing, because it won't end well.
How do you know when to, make that jump? Like when the numbers are right?
You'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know. Like if you're going to do, if you want to do a rehab, and everybody does at some point, find somebody that's done them, that's good at it, and then just watch them. Partner with them and watch them. That way you'll learn. And I mean, trust me, if this is your first project, this is not a project you want to tackle.
You'll be going to a big life seminar.
Yeah,
Expensive
It will be a
one.
very expensive seminar.
But which one would you recommend to be able to do? Is it because of the
Just the sheer size of the project. I mean,
Even
there's
just
so
the
many
knowledge.
things.
Just ignorant to so many things.
There's so many things that can go wrong that you're leaving up to the contractor. And you just heard him say that not all contractors are created equal. He's had one contractor, he's tried to venture out 2 other times with 2 other contractors, and it's ended miserably. Okay? So if you're brand new, you don't have that 15-year relationship with that contractor. You're trying to find that needle in a haystack. Well, I can tell you from experience, if you're looking for that needle and it doesn't appear, you're in for a world of hurt. You can make lots of money in real estate and rehabs, but contractor is the key. Having a good contractor and a reliable contractor is the key to any successful renovator.
How do you find a good contractor?
You do little projects and you build a relationship with them.
But the majority of houses that are coming up anywhere here in Hapeville or anywhere, like there's no such thing as little projects.
Then you partner with someone that has done it and is, just like Andy did with Josh. You partner with somebody that's been there, done that, so they can walk you through the pitfalls. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to do it on your own, I don't care how smart you are, it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with that. You got to have the right people in the right places. Because in real estate, one mistake could cost you $10,000. And if you only have a $20,000 or $25,000 profit, that one mistake could be devastating. So that's my advice. Just start on smaller rehabs, paint, carpet,
So that means like going towards newer builds, like Gwinnett County.
Not quite. I mean, what year was this built?
40s.
Okay, so this is a 1940 house. It needs everything. It needs new plumbing, new electrical. I mean, hell, you don't know what I mean, all it takes is for you to turn the water on one day and have the water backing up because you have a crushed sewer line from your house to the street. And in a 1940 house, that's very possible.
I'll give you an example of a bad contractor. And the first rehab I did in Hapeville, it's a main floor with a basement. We finished the basement, and we had a sewer line leak from the street to the road, and we had sealed the basement. Well, he hired a subcontractor and didn't tell me to do it. He punctured my wall to put the new line in, didn't reseal it. First time it rained, it had flooded the entire basement. It cost me $7,500 to redo the entire basement again.
Wow. Jeez. Well, hey, since we're mentioning some of this due diligence and getting started and evaluating properties, can you tell them a little bit what you're going to be talking about tomorrow at PPG, since we have these folks
How
here?
many people have heard of Property Protege Group, PPG? Okay, if you haven't heard of it, that's a group coaching environment that we have. We meet every first and third Wednesday. It goes for an entire year. Typically what we do is we invite you to check it out to see if it's for you. But basically, we train you on this type of stuff for an entire year. So we're going to have one tomorrow night at 7 o'clock at the Buford office. So anybody interested in coming for free to check it out? Okay.
Love to have you.
Who's the PPG members in here? Just
quite a few.
real quickly.
Quite a few here.
Just kind of tell them real quickly because you guys can do it better justice than me.
Well, even the coaching students are PPG too. We got a lot of
Yeah.
coaching.
So there's 2 different levels. There's PPG Property Protege. That's group coaching. And then we have one-on-one coaching students as well. If you're a one-on-one coaching student, you also get PPG along with us one-on-one. So who's PPG in here?
We got a bunch.
Just
quite a few.
I don't want you to go into a big launch on it. Just tell them a little bit about what we do.
The best things about it, I think, is that we're in a group of people that are desiring the same thing. We have multi-levels of experience, some brand new and some as Josh for 21 years or so. And then we have Dustin and Don around to help us out. And we get to bounce ideas around the room and we end up with the best, the best of everything.
Kind of like a team.
exactly a team concept.
Team
because
sport.
Nobody's, you know, unless you don't do the work, nobody in the room will let you fall.
All right,
I
quickly.
give you an example from me.
Hold on, there's Joe.
Is I hate talking to people, so I'm not the market guy. So I went to PPG to find somebody that I could partner with that likes to do that, and that's how I kind of
You found a good one. He likes to talk.
And so Andy likes to do all that stuff. I like to take care of this, and so you can just kind of feel this relationship.
Did you guys hear that?
So you can make it whatever you want it to be. We give you the tools, we give you everything you need, and we spend a whole, I mean, there's been people, I don't know, where's Teresa? She's
Right
been
behind
around
you.
For, how long have you been in there?
2 years.
So it's been, I mean, so would you recommend it to people?
Yes, absolutely. Especially for beginners, you have a Dom's website for learning, and then we come together twice a month and for like brainstorming and then evaluate our deals.
And education.
Education and the network.
And working deals.
So it's really, we highly recommend it. If nothing else, come check it out. We give you the first meeting free. Check it out, see if it's something that you'd be interested in. Very low pressure for you. Talk to the people that are there. I promise you it will be the best money you spend your entire investing career.
Tell them when and where one more time.
Tomorrow night is our next meeting. If you can't make that one, it will be the first Wednesday. We're in the third Wednesday, right?
Yep, tomorrow's the third Wednesday.
The third Wednesday. The next one will be the first Wednesday. But I encourage you to come to this one because
Due diligence.
we're going to be talking, I'm doing a special one on due diligence. It's out of sequence what we normally do. Like we have a curriculum.
But it's very relevant to what you guys are doing here today.
So it's very relevant. So we have a curriculum that we typically do, and we're coming up to the end of that this year's first or second session. So then we start over again. But this one's going to be special because we did a group in Tampa, and we're going to reiterate some due diligence so that we get you, you know, we want you to have your first deal within 30 days. That's our goal. That's our new, you know, our mission has always been we want you to have a deal in 30 days. But ever since I got called old school, I've got a renewed sense of purpose.
Gonna shake things up.
And so, exactly. So I'm going to be pushing you guys to get your first deal. And then
Harder.
figure the rest out later.
Harder.
So we're going to be pushing ideas on you and things that you're going to need to do. And it is not going to be easy, but I'm going to tell you nothing easy or nothing good is easy. So if you want the challenge and you want to really get your first deal in the next 30 days, probably.
We're going to start pounding in Hapeville tomorrow.
Yes. So
they need some more deals.
Yeah. Hey Dustin,
Yeah.
Teresa's got Sherry's
Sure.
got a deal. Hey Teresa, sorry. That's a deal right around the corner that she's almost finished.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
I heard you had one, but I didn't realize it was over
We
here.
can do that next month. Yeah, it's well. Hopefully, we'll be on
Is
the
it
market.
done?
but-
Is it almost
Almost. No, I mean we're hopefully.
We're gonna stop by and look at it on the way out of here.
Yeah, hopefully today or tomorrow we'll finish with the roughs, and then it's inspection,
Can we
installation.
do that next month?
That's what I do.
I hope to be on the market.
Okay, either way, either if it's not on the market or if it is, it doesn't matter. I like to see them in every stage.
You want to see what together?
Yeah.
Every stage.
Because hopefully Josh will invite us back here when these are closer to completion, so we can see the finished product.
Yeah, mine's 250.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sherry,
Sherry.
if you want, give us the address. We'll make it our highlight property next month.
Okay, yeah, like I said, I really hope to be on the market by next month.
And maybe me and Don and Chrissy can go see it when we're done here.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll take you over there. I was going back by there.
Perfect.
All right, so we don't have any VIP passes for tomorrow night, but just show up.
Just show up and we'll give you
If you
one.
want the address,
It's 1960 Schuyler Hill Drive. 1960 Schuyler Hill Drive in Buford.
SKYLAR.
It's on the website too.
Yep.
Sweet D.
It is far. It is far. But hey, here's something.
Worth it. I went last week.
Hey, before you do, I want to finish this thought. Before you do. Hey, ladies. I heard you say you're from Kennesaw. It is a bit of a hike,
It is far.
but come out and come to this one live to check it out. And if it's something you like, you can still show up occasionally in person.
But we do record. We record them.
We're recording them,
We do them live.
and we're doing them live. Just like right now, I'm streaming this to the folks at home on Facebook Live. we can stream this to you as well at home or wherever you may be.
What time tomorrow?
Tomorrow at 7, and be prepared to stay late. Be prepared to stay late. Okay, late meaning 11. And then if we're well, the part about 12 is after we're done, we go out for a drink, like a Taco Mac or somewhere. But the education usually goes to 11. All right, what are you going to tell us about?
Okay, so this is Dion. He got his first deal. How long have you been doing this?
Guys, listen.
3 months.
Listen.
So he got his first deal in 3 months. And tell him a little bit about it.
You guys want to step? Hey, Dion got his first deal. He's going to tell you about it real quick. Woohoo!
Brand new coaching student.
Yeah. So been in the program, probably started mid-June.
Yeah. But you're PPG and one-on-one coaching.
Correct. And started first PPG. Knew that I wanted to do this, do insurance full-time. Wanted to do this part-time to build income and wealth for just for retirement. And so I saw the value in the one-on-one coaching. It's been really good, and it's all on you. But basically, Don will meet with you one-on-one. Dustin, and you also have access to Chrissy, and gave me the marketing strategy. We sat down, made a plan, and you got to get to work. Start mailing out, and started with a certain type of lead, and they
you were
start
about to
coming
quit,
in.
right?
Exactly.
Well, at least that
You can't quit.
No,
you can't quit.
No, I was about to switch the technique of that marketing, and as soon as the very day that I was ready to switch and say, hey, let's try something else, I get a call from a lady at 3:30 that afternoon, and met with her at 6:30, and went through it with her, went over the house, signed the contract the very next day at my office. So it's a subject to deal.
So very little money.
I'm giving the lady $1,500, taking over the payment of $672, and the house they owe $85,000. They bought it last year, so it's not a lot of equity, but the equity is in the monthly spread that you can make. So I can rent it for either somewhere $1,250 to $1,300. I got a rent analysis on it yesterday for $1,100, and
it's a buy and hold.
It's a buy and hold. The house is in great shape. It's basically putting lipstick on it with paint and carpet, and the house was built in 2005.
Wow, good job.
So, I mean, think about it. $1,500 plus paint and carpet, taking over an $85,000 loan. Yeah, it might be a little over leveraged, or right. It's not over leveraged. There's still about 15. He can't do a flip on it because there's not enough.
Yeah, if you're not selling, who cares?
But he's got equity in the property. He's got $15,000 worth of equity.
I'm okay with the monthly equity.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cash flow. Cash flow. That's right.
And I'll just let it bank in there, and then I gotta, I guess, nail down a strategy whether we're going to do a lease or a rental or a lease purchase. But just let it, I don't need the income. Just let it keep going into the account. They tear it up, fix it, do it again.
Yep.
Tear it up, fix it.
Just when you were about to jump ship on a new technique, I told you.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes
Consistency and persistency.
Every Wednesday night, those leads are emailed to me, so I go in and you work a system where you do that week, the next week, the next week, the next week, in a month. Then you get to the next month, then you go back and you send that week, that. And so now I'm at the point where I'm about to hire someone to do the lead, my letters, but I wanted to do them myself at first to figure out how to do them, how to train someone, and how much time that it takes. So I found out just from the salesperson about $1 a lead is what you should, or $1 per letter is what you should pay someone market value to finish the lead. So it's probably be about $100 a week. I want to send out 100 letters a week plus postage, so maybe about $140 a week.
Are you paying a service to get the leads?
Yes.
How much is that?
I pay, you actually can get them in a 3-month installment or a 6-month, and they give you breaks at each point.
If
or
you
get
come
a 12
tomorrow
month.
night, we'll give you all that information.
But it's very affordable.
We'll give you all that.
Yeah, you do it.
Where's the property located?
It's on the side. It's College Park, south side. Yeah.
Was that assumable more? Did you assume it from them?
No.
It's a subject to.
Subject to.
Okay.
You come tomorrow night, you can ask all about that.
Okay.
It's 3 bedroom, 2.5 bath. Yeah.
So I saw him earlier and I wanted to point it out. I forgot until I turned
What's the
around.
perfect place to do it?
Yeah, so my office on this side of town. I looked at the flyer today. I was like,
So
Yeah, it looks like we might be down here next month too.
Well, good. But I'm looking in the East Point area if anybody got, that's where my office is, if anybody got any deals.
find an area, pound it.
Pound it.
I'd like
Focus,
to-
focus, focus.
I'm actually from East Point, this south side, so I know Hapeville, all this, but I like East Point.
Pound the area. So, all right, well, any other questions?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
And we can go ahead and wrap this up on Facebook and then just take questions whoever wants to ask. So I want to thank Josh for letting us come visit his house. Give Josh a big round of applause, guys. Next month we're going to try to go see Sherry's house, which is very close by, and who knows, maybe even Josh will be further along. Maybe we can pop our head back in here again and see what's up. Yeah. Well, Josh has got another one 3 doors down from Sherry, so maybe we can check them both out next month and maybe hit these up again too, just to see what's up. You guys sound good? All right.
You're going to quit your job.
I got a long ways to go before that.
Well, you're on the right path, that's for sure. And you kind of enjoy your day job, don't you?
Well, it pays good money.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you enjoy it, it pays good money. You don't have to quit.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. All right, Don, any closing remarks?
No, if you're interested you're in the Atlanta area, even if you're in the Tampa area, check us out. Maybe we'll put a link on the Tampa area and ask somebody if they wanted to check us out, just like we do.
If we can, yeah.
Come out tomorrow night at 7 o'clock in Buford, 1960 Schuyler Hill Drive. Check us out for the Property Protege Group. Other than that, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Peace out. It's a wrap.
All right, it's not quite a wrap. Let's just say goodbye to everybody. Hey, goodbye, everybody. This is Dustin Griffin here with Don and everybody else. Thank you so much for coming. We'll see you next time. Peace.